Okay, so today what we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about interest rates. So I have 5 Capital One cards, 5, right? And the other day I decided to look and see, well, what are my interest rates with Capital One? So what I discovered is that the highest interest rate that Capital One has on any one of their cards, well, at least the one I have, one of them, is 31.24%. Okay? 31.24. That's a lot of interest. Now, the lowest interest rate that I saw with any one of the Capital One cards that I had is 27.49. And even that's still high, right? But it's better than 31 point whatever I said, 24. Okay? So what I want to talk about today is balance transfers. Okay? Balance transfers is a thing. What you want to do, if you're able, what you want to be able to do is apply for a 0% interest credit card. If you can apply for and obtain a 0% interest rate credit card, what that will do is now give you the ability to move whatever the balance is, your $2,000, your $5,000, your $10,000, whatever that balance is, over from your Capital One that's 31.24% over to the 0% interest rate, even if it's for 12 months or 18 months. They call that like an introductory rate. Okay? Now, let's say you're not in a position to get a new credit card. I get it, right? So I said, well, let me look at some of my other credit cards and see who has the very lowest interest. Because instead, if I'm carrying a balance in a particular card for Capital One, it would make more sense to transfer that balance over to another card that is perhaps lower. So I did some research. And when I looked around, I found that my Navy Federal Platinum card is actually 18%. Now, I also have a Visa Signature card. It came close, but it was like, it's actually 14.5% on my Visa Signature card. However, on balance transfers, it is 19.49%. So it looks to me as Navy One. Navy One because it's 18%. So here it is. I would be able to go ahead and move my balance from Capital One at 31.24 and take it over to my Navy card at 18%. And at that point, what we're talking about saving, is this one right here? We're talking about saving just roughly 13% in interest. All day long, that makes sense to me. So I'm going to put some screenshots and things up here for you all to be able to see, well, how do I do that? Because, of course, I too had to look in order to consider doing it for myself. But at the end of the day, a penny saved is a penny earned. So if you can save on some interest on a balance that you're carrying, not that you should carry balances, but sometimes the need arises and you're not able to pay it off in its entirety. If that's the case, I would suggest you look at all of your cards and determine which one has the lowest interest rate and does it enable you to transfer balances. Hopefully, the card that you have that you're wanting to transfer the balances over to is a large enough card to be able to put a balance onto. So my Navy card is my largest card. So that would be able to sustain and be able to take on any of the other balances. Now, if your largest card is maxed out, you're going to have to pay it down because you cannot transfer any kind of balances unless you have room on that card and able to do, to be able to do it. So here's another strategy is what I'm thinking. So let's say you have a small card with Capital One, maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and I'm saying small, maybe 500, I don't know. I would say pay down whatever space that you're needing to be able to transfer the balance over to the larger card in order to now be able to allow that balance to quote unquote sit at the rate of 18% or 12% or whatever, or 0%, instead of accumulating interest at 31% over here at Capital One. Love Capital One because of the fact that they are so giving. They're so lenient. Like I said, I have 5 cards with them. In fact, the cards that are showing those highest interest rates are my Platinum card, and I have 2 Quicksilvers. One of them used to be a Walmart card, but for whatever reason, it stopped being a Walmart card, and then they said, well, do you want a Quicksilver? Or it was another one that they were offering, but I already had that one. So I say all that to say, don't let balances sit and accrue at the rate of 31.24% when you can pretty much just sit down, do your research, and figure out what card do I have that has the lowest interest rate that allows me to have a balanced transfer. And if it's no room on there, let me pay it down by satisfying the minimum payment. You can use that, pay down to satisfy the minimum or whatever it is that it's going to require. And then go back to Capital One or wherever and transfer that balance over. So now it's not parked over there accruing interest at such a high rate. Now it's over there where it's less. Hope that helps. Take care. Bye.